Welcome to the Hindu editorial analysis on January 13, 2022. I am going to discuss today two editorials named Trust Deficit and Talking to Russia. The editorial title Trust Deficit refers to the Competition Commission of India's investigation into Google on its alleged abuse in news aggregation. The decision of the Competition Commission of India comes in the wake of the complaint from Digital News Publishers Association that Google, the search giant, is abusing its dominance in news aggregation to impose unfair conditions on the outlets. The CCI observed Google dominates certain online services and therefore forces news publishers to accept the terms and conditions imposed by Google. Google operates as a gateway between various news publishers on one hand and news readers on the other. Digital News Publishers Association is the digital arm of some of the India's biggest media firms. The digital news publishers get more than half of the traffic from online search engines on which Google has a command, and this market leading position is abused by Google to force the publishers into several unfavorable terms. Google displays the snippets of news items and therefore visitors do not directly access the online content of the news publishers. It is through this process Google earns ad revenue on its result page. Google also keeps and enriches its search algorithm from the volume of search queries. The advertising revenues are the major revenues of Alphabet Incorporation, the parent company of Google. In 2020, Alphabet generated almost $183 billion in revenue, out of which $147 billion or over 80% came from Google's ad business. Google generates 71% of Google's ad revenues from its search engine feature. Google shares this ad revenues with digital news publishers. The terms are unilaterally dictated by Google. The publishers are also complaining that they are forced to use the accelerated mobile pages platform of Google. AMB platform makes loading speed for pages almost instantaneous. This abuse of dominant position by Google affects a fair distribution of revenue among all stakeholders. It is therefore they are complaining to the Competition Commission of India on antitrust allegations. The antitrust law in India is the Competition Act 2002 and rules and regulations made thereunder, which regulates businesses in India to ensure a level playing field and effective competition in the market. The intent of the Competition Act is to promote competition, protect the interest of consumers, ensure freedom of trade, and prevent practices having an appreciable adverse effect on competition. The statutory body of the Government of India responsible for enforcing the Act and promoting competition throughout India and to prevent activities that have an adverse effect on competition is the Competition Commission of India. There is imbalance of power that exists between the tech giant Google and the digital news publishers. The Competition Commission of India was therefore ordered an investigation into the complaints by Digital Publishers Association. It is for this antitrust watchdog to ensure that sustainability of journalism survives the attack from imbalance of power that is stifling a fair competition. The second editorial title, Talking to Russia, refers to the recent inconclusive ending of the Geneva talks between the United States and Russia on Ukraine. The United States and Russia are the former Cold War rivals. There is a growing fear in Europe about a Russian invasion of Ukraine. Russia has amassed about 1 lakh troops along its border with Ukraine. Russia demanded that Ukraine must never become a member of North Atlantic Treaty Organization. The North Atlantic Treaty Organization, or NATO, is an intergovernmental military alliance between 27 European countries, 2 North American countries, and 1 Eurasian country. The North Atlantic Treaty was signed on 4th April 1949. NATO constitutes a system of collective security. Its members can insist on help defense from other members in response to an attack by any external party. This is probably the reason why Ukraine seeks the membership of NATO. This is the reason why Russia is pressing US to oppose Ukraine's membership of NATO. Russia has been opposing NATO's further expansion in Eastern Europe. In 2008, it opposed Georgia becoming a member by waging war on Georgia. The Geneva talks were aimed by Russia to apprise US of its intention over Ukraine. With the Geneva talks failing, the fate of Ukraine is in uncertainty. NATO has a huge responsibility in its shoulder to calm the nerves of Russia, which is attempting an invasion of Ukraine. In 2014, Russia annexed Crimea, an Ukrainian territory. Russia is still suffering from the Crimean annexation over its economic costs. The war over Ukraine must be avoided at any cost. Moreover, NATO must stop its further expansion for the time being to calm down Russia. Thank you.